the worst types of parents. Sorry, mom and dad, if you're watching this. Parents, you know, sometimes they can be strict. And a lot of times it's the fact that they're just trying to protect you from danger. But sometimes, you know, they get a little bit too strict for some reason. Sometimes parents just get way too carried away, even though it's not really that deep. And sometimes parents have a whole ass life planned out for you. They got everything from what you're going to college for, who you're gonna date, what sports are you gonna play in school. Like, they got the whole 9 yards planned out. But let's start with the parent that brags about you 24/7. Like, holy shit, dude, we get it. Little Timothy hit a home run, and now you want to post it all over Facebook for whatever reason. And you know what? That's great, but I don't need to see shit like this 24/7, bro. Like, you're basically just bragging about your son to everybody and just posting him all over your Facebook wall. And then some of these parents will go up to people in real life and be like, my son got an A on his report card. What did your son get? And respectfully, bro, nobody gives a fuck. And they'll try to claim that they're a better parent than you just because their son got an A and your son only got a B. It's really not that deep, bro. Parenting is not a competition, but these people treat it like one. Let's talk about the parents that give you an early curfew. I remember when I was growing up, I had to go to bed at like 7 p.m. when I was in the first grade. For what reason? Honestly, I have no idea why. The sun is still out, my friends were out playing in the neighborhood, and I just had to sit there in my room, look out the window, and just cry. A 7 p.m. bedtime is wild. So I was either stuck looking out the window and crying or just reading a book. And every day I would have to look through the arsenal of books I had. And most of the time I was stuck reading some shit like The Ugly Duckling. And that was it. That was all the entertainment I had. My parents had my DS, my iPod, literally everything. So the only choice I really had was reading a goddamn Ugly Duckling book. And my bedtime was 9 p.m. until I was like 14 years old or something. And I would have to always be home from my friend's house before dinner time. And after that, I couldn't hang out with my friends anymore. And now we got to talk about the parents with crazy expectations. Like, they'll tell you some shit like, if you don't come back with all A pluses on your report card, okay, you don't need to get an A+, but an A+ is great. But not every kid needs to get into Harvard, bro, and some people have strengths in different areas. Now, my early years of school, I was like behind in all my classes, and I was a very slow learner. So yeah, I was definitely not getting those A+, and I did not get into Harvard, not even close. Now, I'm not really sure what my parents were expecting of me, but all I know is I would get punished whenever I'd get a C in any class. But sure, I mean, it's not great, but like, I'm just happy to fucking pass at this point, especially if it's not going to be useful to me at all, like fucking biology. Like, I don't think biology is going to apply to my life at all. But regardless of my disinterest in the subject and everything like that, they still wanted me to absolutely cook up in this class. I really don't know how they feel about me being unemployed and doing YouTube full time. I have no clue. But I guess technically I'm a Google employee. I don't know. Nosy parents. Parents that want to find out what you're doing at all times. And this one, I don't know, it's just an invasion of privacy. Their kids are getting no space whatsoever. Like, imagine if somebody was like, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? Why are you doing that? It's getting pretty late. Why are you out so late? Who are you with? What are they saying? Like, relax, bro. You don't gotta ask so many questions. And I get they want to know what you're doing and shit like that. They want to make sure you're safe. But at the same time, bro, if they don't want to answer, you can't physically force an answer out of them and just constantly question them until you get the answer you want. And this is gonna make them feel like they're in trouble, so they won't even be open with you about anything. And now this one kind of segues into the next one, the helicopter parents. I feel like helicopter parents are very nosy as well. They're very overbearing and overprotective, and they will literally do the most to make sure their kid is safe. Like, literally have eyes on them at all times. You know what app for them has the most screen time? Goddamn Life 360. They'll open it up, make sure their exact location at all times. And yes, my parents did use Life 360, so they could have been stalking my location at any moment, and I probably wouldn't have known. But thank God my parents never did this, but I heard that some parents will literally pull up on you sometimes, and they'll be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, bro, relax. Now we got the parents with crazy punishments. Like, if you make the slightest mistake with them, oh, you're getting punished. There's gonna be a bar of soap in your mouth in T-minus 10 seconds if you even think about swearing. They'll use all kinds of methods. They'll pull out the belt or even a goddamn flip-flop, which is crazy. Or there's some parents that will ground you for no reason. Like, they won't even hear you out at all. They'll be like, nope, you're grounded for 2 weeks. No PlayStation, vacation, no nothing, you're grounded. And then pretty much you're in a prison sentence for 2 weeks. You can't go out at all, you're just stuck with whatever the hell's in your room. In most scenarios where I have been grounded, it's just like my Xbox got taken away. That was really it, to be honest. And sometimes they would put me in timeout for like an hour, and then I would just sit there and just be mad at the world. And you best believe the moment I got out of timeout, I was just gonna run around like a delinquent until they threatened to give me timeout again. The punishments I got weren't so bad compared to other people. I kind of got it easy, I'm not gonna lie. But speaking of getting it easy, we got the spoiled parents. These parents will not punish their kids whatsoever and will literally give them anything they ask for. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be something as expensive as a PS5 or a goddamn iPad. And apparently it's so important because my friend at school have an iPad. I know I just sounded like Eric Cartman there, but he's a good example of a spoiled kid. And then when their parents actually get them the iPad, he's like, no, I wanted the 164 gigabyte one. Like, buddy, you just got a whole ass iPad. Why are you not thankful for it? That shit costs like $1,000. Like, that money could have been used towards rent for the month. But no, instead they decided to give your stupid ass an iPad. Because anytime where I did put up pushback with my parents with like, I want this toy and that toy, they would tell me, be thankful for the fucking toys you have and stop being a spoiled bitch. Okay, you get the point. They wouldn't say that verbatim, but they basically taught me that some people don't have toys and I should be thankful for the toys that I do have right now. Now we gotta talk about the parents that don't even care. Now, I'm really glad that I didn't have these types of parents because they basically just let their kid do whatever the hell they want. Like, you could be holding a goddamn pocket knife and he'd be like, you know what? You do you, man. You're good, bro. You got it. Or they'll just straight up look at their kid about to, I don't know, like fucking stick a fork in the prongs of an electric socket, and they'll be like, you know, he's just curious. Okay, nobody's really that crazy, but you get my point. They'll let their kids eat cookies for breakfast or something, instead of saying, oh, you gotta have this in the morning. But, I mean, at this point, I may as well have ate cookies for breakfast, bro. I was having goddamn Eggo chocolate chip pancakes, and I wondered why I was fat, which is kind of crazy. Or they might just let their kid, like, roam around in the stores and, like, do stupid shit. Now, I remember I used to hide in clothes racks, and I would always get in trouble for it. But some parents may not even care about that type of stuff. And in some cases, they may not even really care to discipline their kids. They might just shrug it off entirely. But now we got the parents that try to plan your entire future. The moment you spawn into planet Earth, the moment you come out of the womb, they already got everything planned for you. You're gonna be a doctor or a lawyer and go to school for like 7 years. You're gonna come out making 250 grand a year. They already got it settled, like who you're gonna date. Even if you're not really feeling her like that, doesn't matter. They got your whole life planned out in their head. And if you don't stick with this plan, they just start crashing out at you for no reason. Like, not everybody is meant to be like a doctor or lawyer or some other high-paying field that takes 7 years of school. Like, not everybody is built for that type of shit, bro. And I'm definitely not. And these parents want to live through you. I honestly don't even know if that just made sense, but you probably know what I mean. They want the perfect life that they never got. So they're trying to give you this insanely perfect life, which doesn't really make much sense because somebody else's life is not your perfect life or your dream life. So by doing that, they're basically defeating the purpose of all this. Parents want you to have it better than they had, but by doing that, they're literally forcing you to do shit you don't want to do. And now we got the sports mom or dad. Holy shit. I've never seen so many dads drunk at a baseball game, crashing the hell out in the crowd when their son wasn't winning the game. Like, one time I was at a baseball game and his dad started crashing out in the crowd. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was just like, this fucking blind umpire, you're a piece of shit, your calls are terrible, blah blah blah, and then he ended up getting kicked out. Like, dude, it's a little league baseball game. It is not that serious, I promise. Like, imagine getting pressed over your son's little league game. That is crazy. Like, some umpires, okay, they do need their eyes checked, I'm not gonna lie, but it is not worth crashing out over and just making a fool out of yourselves in front of every other parent in the crowd. And Jesus Christ, bro, the soccer mom Karens get crazy. I have never seen so much rage built up into a person in my entire life. Or either that, or sometimes, bro, they're like trying to coach the whole damn team on the sideline. Like, dude, there's already a coach on the field. We do not need your input. And now we got the cringy parents that try to be hip. And a good representation of this is somebody like Susan Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And it's just, they're so cringy, it's just embarrassing. And they end up embarrassing their own kids in the process. And thank God my parents parents wouldn't try to embarrass me in front of people. And I get that parents trying to be quote unquote hip with the kids are just trying to understand their kids better and get familiar with this brain rot terminology. Like, imagine your mom or dad saying the word Sigma unironically, and they were like, "Nice job, son. Very Sigma of you for getting an A." There would be unbearable levels of cringe just radiating throughout my body. And sometimes my parents will ask me what these words and phrases mean. Like last year, my dad asked me what Hawk Tua meant. And I'm like, you know what? I could have been explaining that to my mom. That would have been way more obvious. But sometimes my mom does ask me what certain stuff means that she finds on TikTok. So I just say, I have no clue. I'm just as lost as you. But yeah, speaking of TikTok, watch this video about the different types of TikTokers. It's on the end screen, so just click on it.